Good.
Yeah? We're good? Okay, your question.
The question was how events in the Middle East affect how Hindus are viewed in academia and the West's relations with India.
Right. You know, in the West there's a section of media people and of politicians who support Islam, who don't want to have anything to do with this, what they call Islamophobia, and therefore also support Muslims when they have conflicts with the Jews in Israel, Palestine, or for instance with the Hindus in India. With the Jews in Palestine, of course, Westerners are a bit subdued because, you know, they feel a bit guilty about the Second World War and they know what can happen, so they don't want to push things too far. In the case of India, they don't have this. So, you see, they are all out anti-Hindu. And what makes it worse is that there is no Hindu defense mechanism. Because, you know, what you have of Hindu nationalism, it is called, it's not very effective. You know, they are not defending themselves or the Hindu cause very well. In fact, they are giving it a bad name. Now, what happens today is that a lot of Hindu activism gradually is coming up. The Sangh being the RSS, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha, or the National Volunteer Corps. You know, that is the name of the main Hindu mass organization. So, you know, we have to give the RSS and its associated organizations credit for relief work, for organization of tribals, self-organization at the village level. So there, you know, they have certain merits, but at the same time their leadership is very weak on ideology. And so we see that their political party, the BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, is very confused. And when they came to power, they did not do anything to satisfy the Hindu feelings, you know, to set the Hindu agenda. I mean, there are many issues that really concern Hinduism. For example, the resettlement of the Hindu Kashmiris, or doing something about Kashmir having a separate status from India. You know, getting the Kashmiri Hindus ideally back to Kashmir. I mean, why should the Kashmiri Muslims be anti-India? They could also have tabled the Common Civil Code. I mean, it is in their program since 1952. So, you see, India is not a secular state. It has a separate family law for Muslims, Christians, Parsis and Hindus. Hindus, you know, or the BJP promised to make it a common civil code. Well, when they were in power between 1998 and 2004, they didn't move a finger in this direction. And you see, when you ask them, they say, oh, but you know, we didn't really have a majority, we had our coalition partners and so on. Well, at least if you don't have a majority, you can force everyone to show where he stands, you know, like provoking a vote. You know, even if you lose the vote, then at least everybody has shown his face. And then you can make it an election issue. But you see, they were not serious, so they didn't table it at all. So they didn't do anything except for rewriting the textbooks. And because they didn't have intellectuals, there was, well, let's call it a disaster. You know, it was a failure all across the board. And so they introduced new textbooks which were immediately replaced again when they lost power. And everybody was happy because the textbooks which they brought were very unsatisfactory. So that's about the BJP. But you see, at the same time, now outside the BJP, outside the RSS, Hindu initiatives are coming up. Like one that is very important is the Hindu Samhati in Bengal. Actually, in West Bengal, Hindus are very seriously besieged, especially in the border areas where Bangladeshi immigrants are coming in large numbers and settling there. So, you know, an RSS Pracharak has broken away from the RSS and set up his own organization, which is doing quite good work for the Hindus there. In the NRI world, the non-resident Indians, so outside, you know, in England, in America, we also see separate organizations coming up. So that is very good, and we are witnessing right now a very interesting period of Hindu self-organization. You know, this is the internet age, and it's very easy to communicate separately. You know, you don't need these things like the organizer, which is the weekly of the RSS. You know, you can set up your own shop and, you know, and network with organizations elsewhere in India as well as in Australia and so on. So therefore you don't need the RSS anymore. At the same time, you see, criticism of the established Hindu organizations should not go too far. You know, you should not lose sight of your common goal. The RSS is just there, and I mean, it will adapt eventually. You know, when it sees other initiatives coming up, it will try to take credit even for the initiatives by taking over their inspiration, the direction they are taking. So, you know, that shouldn't concern us. You know, let the RSS do its own thing. You know, let it adapt gradually. But meanwhile, you see, set up your own shop, set up your own organization, and organize it and do things that the Hindus